Okay, so Representative, we're looking at, is it 270? Is that right? I don't have the copy in my
House
hand.
Bill 270.
And what do you hope that accomplishes?
In years past, the legislature on more than one occasion has passed a resolution on the family, affirming the core family values of the people of Utah. But to put it in code would be more effective as a public policy statement, which provides guidance and guidelines for what we're trying to accomplish and what our guiding principles are.
What are the, if you think about like a problem in society that you're addressing as as you craft legislation, you're thinking about what you hope to solve. What is it that you're hoping to solve?
The state constitution provides in Article 1, Section 27 that the frequent recurrence of fundamental principles is essential to the preservation of individual rights and the protection of liberties. So we have a vehicle for stating what our optimum condition is, what we're trying to accomplish. There's a little saying that says if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. Public policy statements are when the legislature puts in code and says this is what we're trying to accomplish. At the same time, we are compassionate and respectful of all the many variations that life circumstances present. But we still hold up and say this is what we know, and all the evidence and all the history shows that the best environment for raising and nurturing children is in that traditional natural family unit. And so we've stated that, but at the same time we're respectful of, and we have countless government programs and services that try to provide relief for those who struggle and aren't able to achieve that, but our laws will always be trying to uphold the family as it's come down to us through time, and the family predates all government. Also, we want to affirm the founding principles that our nation was built upon that are also consistent with those strong family values.
And you mentioned, and it's quoted from the Declaration of Independence, the laws of nature, nature's God, the supreme and righteous judge, those things. Is it appropriate for that to be, for a law to say that that's its basis?
Is it appropriate to have the self-evident truths of the Declaration of Independence in our laws? Of course it is.
Okay, so the Declaration of Independence, again, amazing founding document, but also a letter to another country about why we're separating, not a law. Like the Constitution doesn't say anything about God.
It's our founding declaration of principles, and our national motto is "In God We Trust." And I don't think you ever have to apologize as a state on behalf of the people in making a public policy affirmation. Our preamble to our own state constitution says, "Grateful to Almighty God for life and liberty, we the people of Utah do ordain and establish this Constitution." So surely that can't be a stumbling block.
And in talking about the problems, we've talked about the state constitution and law supporting certain principles. What is it that you see in society that you hope that this law addresses?
Just as the data will show that over the last maybe 20 to 30 years that there has been a lot of deterioration of the family as it's come down to us through time. And more children are not experiencing that optimum norm, which the courts have acknowledged. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, the Federal 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, has stated that a home anchored by a father and a mother is the optimum environment in which to raise a child. And they upheld as valid public policy, and they said, and the United States Supreme Court has said as well, that upholding order and public morality is a legitimate government purpose, and that our government has a strong interest in maintaining that most optimum condition for family life. But again, we have great compassion, and our government services address all of the needs of those people who are unable to achieve that. But our laws need to always be going in the direction of what we know to be the optimum environment, the optimum family environment. And we're trying to uphold the family as the most fundamental unit of society.
What are the threats that are deteriorating the family? What's going on in society that's making it so children aren't with that family unit?
Well, that's volumes and volumes of experts, and everyone has an opinion on that, but society certainly shows that there are forces at work that are making it harder and harder. So we're trying to address those.
What forces are they?
Just all of the social forces out there that seem to be putting more and more pressure on the heads of households. But again,
But social forces like, I mean, any example?
Just the evidence and the data is overwhelming that that not as many children are experiencing the optimum environment of what the courts have recognized as a home anchored by both a father and a mother. And the evidence shows and the record reflects that both a father and a mother have complementary roles to play. Both are essential. And again, that the best environment for children is to come into a home and a family where they're loved and welcomed by the father and mother who conceived them or adopted them and who brought them to this earth.
Yeah. It seems like you're intentionally not talking about what you see as a threat to the family, or what you see as...
You can't single out any one thing. There's just so much.
For example,
do a comparison. Do a comparison of the data in the last 30 or 40 years. There's just been so much commentary on it. There are so many books. David Blankenhorn's got a classic treatise on fatherless America. He addresses that. He states that maybe 1/3 of the children in America, he reports, haven't had contact with their father in the last year. That's just one report that's out there. There are many others. Judith Wallerstein wrote a book called The Legacy of Divorce, 25 years of history tracking the effects of the no-fault divorce laws that have been adopted. There's many factors. That's why you can't single out any, but if you just take analysis over the decades and look at them and then and look at where we are, but a public policy statement, it's not mandating, it's not prohibiting, it's just holding up as a public policy affirmation of what our objectives are, what our core beliefs are, and it's a roadmap of where we're going and who we are and what we're striving to maintain, uphold, protect, and preserve.
What would this be opposed to someone who's homosexual having children in the home?
It's a public policy affirmation of our core values and beliefs consistent with our Constitution that calls for frequent recurrence to our founding principles as an essential prerequisite to the protection and perpetuation of our individual rights and liberties. So public policy is what legislators do, the laws that we adopt. Chief Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, very profound statement, he said our laws should be and are the external deposit of our moral life. So who we are as a people, what we believe, what we think, what we're striving to accomplish, we put in our code as a public policy statement. At the same time, with the greatest of compassion, we reach out and we come together as a people and we provide services and programs and policies and procedures that meet the needs of all the people.
But in terms of issues of adoption, foster care, that kind of thing, it wouldn't preclude gay people from doing that? Would that be part of the...
I think I've answered about 8 or 9 different questions that I think that we've fielded, but it's a public policy affirmation of the core beliefs of the people of Utah that we can affirm as a public policy statement regarding the family and of its central role as the fundamental unit of society. And so it's reflected in House Bill 270, and we'd like to put it in code rather than the resolutions that have been passed previously, but it's consistent with those. Take it sentence by sentence and ask if they're true statements. It's a starting point for a healthy discussion, and if amendments are needed, I'm more than open to that. But in the end, I hope that we have a clear expression of what our family policy is, and then go forward as we do with the greatest compassion in reaching out and helping people with all of their life circumstances. Thank you very much.
I guess the reason, I'm just wondering why...
I'm going to go back into my committee.
Okay.